Well, hello, unmessable. Welcome to this episode of Courage in Real Life. I am Patrick, your curator of Courage Hacks. Today, we are raising our hand. Yeah, we're not taking an oath, but it could be. What is raising your hand? How can it be a courage hack? Raising your hand is essentially a statement of confidence. Raising your hand is a statement of taking control. Raising your hand is a statement of stepping up and stepping out. So imagine you back in school, high school, whatever, one of those grades. You have prepared the night before, hopefully, and you went to class. The teacher asks a question. You know that you know the answer, but you are not raising your hand. Why? Because you are worried about everybody else around you who could laugh at you. You worry about everybody else around you who could think that your answer is ridiculous or your answer is wrong or it's not good enough. But the funny part about it is, those same people are not even raising their hand. Do you see how ridiculous it is? And that person goes in a professional situation. Now you're not in a classroom anymore, you're in a meeting. You have something to say. You want to challenge a proposal. You want to challenge a statement. You want to ask a question. You want to make a recommendation. Or you are at church. You're in a social situation. And you still have an opportunity to raise your hand and speak up, speak your values, speak your ideas. You're not raising your hand again. Where does this end? In my situation, I wasn't much of a raising your hand upper for obvious reasons. I had two things going. Number one, the very natural fear of speaking up, speaking in public or speaking up in the classroom that most people have naturally. It's a natural happening. But the other side is I had to also deal with my insecurity around my speech impediment and speaking up, being physically laughed at for that and maybe the wrong answer. Now you understand all the dynamics that will go on that will cause you not to raise your hand. But it still doesn't excuse us from not raising our hand, because raising your hand is a statement of self-image. It's a statement that I got something to say. It's a statement that allows us to build confidence. It's a statement that allows us to raise our standard of courage. It's a statement that allows us to even ask for help. The physical act of raising your hand puts attention on you. But there are several other ways that you can raise your hand. You can volunteer. You can volunteer to mentor somebody. You can share your expertise. In one of our past episodes, we talked about how I versus how to as a way to share your expertise and gain credibility. You can also speak up on somebody's behalf. That's another way to raise your hand. You can stand up and walk out. That's a way to physically raise your hand, step up, and step out. There is this technique by Mel Robbins called the 5-second rule. If you haven't heard about it before, it's a cognitive technique that helps you to interrupt your brain before it shuts you down, as if you are in a dangerous situation, as it interrupts your brain from freezing you or for putting you in a state of flight, of fear, flee. And it's basically counting down from 5 to 1 and then act. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Raise your hand. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Speak up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just ask the question. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Those are all combinations of ways you can employ raising your hand as a courage hack to raise your minimum standard of courage. I didn't do much of raising hand for obvious reasons that I've explained. But today, I raise my hand for everything. Even when I know the answer, when I know half the answer, when I don't even know what I'm going to say, because everybody else is not raising their hand. What does it do? It helps you, number one, to think on your feet. It helps you to raise your influence. I already mentioned confidence, but your influence. And it also, above all else, helps you to take ownership, 100% ownership of your experience, whether it's personal experience or professional. That is huge because we 100% own everything in our life, including our response. So that's your courage hack for this week. Tell me, how are you going to apply that to your life? How are you going to try on and see how it feels in your life? And there is somebody out there who could benefit from this video. Please share it with them. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel and the newsletter. And remember, my friend, you are unmessable. God bless.